Hooray! Frickin' technology at its finest.
Okay, mic 1 is good on that.
Is it good? Does it sound good?
I can show you in a second. Let me just...
I don't need you to show me. I was just asking your opinion. I didn't really.
I need your opinion.
Okay.
Yes, test. Hello. You hear it?
Stop saying hello so much.
Hello.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Ow.
I'm sorry, your ear.
Stop touching them. You're making it worse. Yeah, no, the audio is really good with that mic.
Yep.
I don't understand. When I recorded for my reviews, it was muffled as hell.
Yeah, probably that's the way that you set it up. I think you were probably talking to the top of this, not the side of it. Because that's where where you had to put your voice in, not the top of it.
Yeah.
You were talking to the top of it, weren't you?
I wasn't not doing that. Fuck my life.
Be very careful.
I thought, why is this thing so fucking tangled?
I don't know.
Yeah, damn.
Damn.
Ow, and that drove right into my knee.
I'm sorry.
Everything's going wrong.
You got wires everywhere.
That's true. Get off of him.
Yeah, okay, I'm good.
Question. It says not connected to YouTube live chat.
Huh, it should be at this point.
Yeah, this is a spoiler podcast.
This is what watching stuff's all about.
It's literally us giving our full first experience.
Sorry, Glenn. That's what watching stuff's always been. We've always been.
I guess we don't have to spoil like the mystery element.
Yeah, there's not,
even though it's.
That's not the major point of the movie, in my opinion.
No, it's so minuscule compared to everything else that happens.
I think you read your reviews. We are cute. Okay, why isn't that not?
See, somebody's delusional. Where are the cute boys? Where are these smoking hot, sexy boys I'm told so much about?
It's us. We are.
We are neither smoking hot nor sexy.
Oh, that's it. For some reason, Google logged everyone out of their.
Of course it did.
For some reason.
Goggle. Let me hold this.
Yeah, hold that.
Goggle. Google's butt. Okay, guys, I'm looking at the chat, so feel free to toss your 2 cents my way, and I'll start answering questions, I guess, while we set up. We'll give maybe till 11:30, and then we'll start recording.
Yeah.
Do that, so technology was just responding. It's like, oh, it finally happened.
Yeah.
It's Cyberdyne and the Terminators.
Yeah, we just have a second camera up just for such emergencies.
Oh man.
Okay.
God, that pub food is so rich.
Yeah, we just came back from the movie theaters, and now we got this, and now.
Well, I mean,
shut up.
we came back from the movie theaters about a nice good hour and a half ago, but you know, technology was being a.
We gotta show that we're professional. That means technology just works perfectly for us.
Look, when we break 1 million subscribers, then we'll look professional because we'll have money to be professional. So until that happens, these are just 2 schlubs. We're everyday people just like our viewers who just like to talk about movies.
Oh, fine.
Thank you. Dude, audio is now very iffy. For real? We're using like a Yeti mic.
Okay, I'll just have to test it. Let me.
You can play with the gain, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll do that a little bit.
I want to avoid turning off the fan because it gets really hot in this room.
No, it's definitely the fan wouldn't do that much to it.
Was the movie better than the first movie? No.
Let's see.
Anything? Is it good? Is it bad?
I keep talking a little bit.
Chicken necks and chicken breasts. Who doesn't like chicken? It's very delicious and very tasty. I like eating chicken. Who doesn't like it fried or barbecue? Chicken is very good.
That's all right to me.
Sounded fine to me too. I don't know. Could be headsets. Because remember, every computer is different anyway. So.
Yeah, true. Like Rachel, like if you can tell us, like what do you hear? Like is the audio cutting in and out or anything like that?
I'd like to point out on record that you could prove that there's a different camera and quality and like different technology because that image looks far better right here in actual real life than it does on that webcam.
It just shows that Incredibles 2 is just that amazing.
Don't get me wrong, it is, but I mean like still, it's like the image is like nuclear powered.
Yeah, well,
Audio, it's good. Okay, yeah.
Okay, we're getting
I think
on.
it varies from person to person, and we're doing the best we can here because originally our audio was coming just from the webcam mic, and it was kind of muffled. We moved up to a Yeti now because a Yeti is a much more superior camera microphone.
Okay.
What's Hootsuite?
Hootsuite is just basically just sort of the social media posting service that I use for ToonGrin.
Oh, cool.
Just to post everywhere. Okay, that one.
How's everyone doing tonight? Sorry if this is a little bit late, but we did want to, hit while that iron's hot.
Yeah, we'll probably be staying up a little bit later just to make sure that everything's good. We'll basically record this, cut out the Q&A bit at the end, and then just get right to doing it. Okay.
There were moments where Nero would talk and no sound would come, but I'm watching on my phone. That could be it.
Yeah, I was hearing some sort of like off and on sort of thing. That just can do with some connection issues and such, but it should be fine because we have a stable connection and such. Tune in.
Is that keyboard not working now?
No, I'm just trying to think of an actual quippy thing to say for the description. Like, you get to see behind the scenes of how we make social media posts.
Why not tune in tonight?
But aren't you just smart?
No. Did you guys like the short? God damn it. Did you guys like the short? That was fun.
It was cute.
It's weird.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely one of the weirder ones I expect out of Disney. At least it wasn't that stupid volcano one. I just got home from work. It's 2:50 a.m. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Don't worry, this will be posted.
Technically, we got home from work. Mind you, our work was watching Incredibles 2, but still, I mean,
yeah,
we're not so different.
Watching.
Yeah, I thought the short was fine.
With the tune.
The shorts are probably about as experimental as like Disney movies get anymore.
Yeah, very true.
I wonder if they'll ever get I'm surprised they still haven't announced a live-action Frozen. Like, I know it would be way too early to do it now, but I'm so shocked by it. Like, they were so ready to like cram Elsa into Once Upon a Time that I'm surprised that like after that movie left theaters, it's like, by the way, did you hear about our live-action remake of Frozen that we're doing? You just did like the Broadway musical, and she just appeared on that TV show. Do we really need a live-action remake? I think it's about time the people of the world got a live-action Frozen remake.
Yeah.
We can't miss her if she doesn't leave.
Right.
Besides, they should do a live-action version of Zootopia.
What is the one just in fursuits?
That's much better than my idea. My idea was to make that do the stupid Lion King thing, where it's like photographic realistic animals, and it's like, look, it's photographic realistic Nick. Ugh.
It would be perfect for everybody.
It'll be perfect.
Yep, perfect.
There you go.
Okay.
That's truth.
Oh, the truth. Okay.
Yeah.
Just double checking social media. Okay. Okay, it's posting everywhere.
Oh man, where's my cell phone? I could try texting some friends. I gotta say, one of my favorite things to do right now is this. No, I just want Elsa to die. She can't die. She's an elemental. She'll probably be here as long before the sun even burns out.
No, definitely. A few other people show up, and then we'll actually get started into it. Because what we're thinking is we're basically just going to start as just a traditional watch and stuff, just a chat on the side and all that, and we'll look over as we're just discussing the whole movie. And we'll try to keep spoilers to a minimum just for this sort of case, as the movie did just come out after all.
You might need to help me later. I think my phone has some weird bug in it, because I keep getting these weird freaking adult pop-ups on my goddamn phone now, and I don't know what I did.
Nero, I think you've been looking at too much pornography.
One? Okay. Maybe. Alright. That's not the point, though. I just want it off my phone.
Okay, I hope you look it over and it should be fine.
Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome, boo.
Blah, blah, blah. God, you still posting? Jesus Christ. It was one message. It shouldn't even took that long. And it was like 30 minutes ago. This is pointless to post it now. Audio's gone. I can't hear you guys. I'm telling you, I don't know what to tell you. Weird question. Do you guys prefer red pandas or giant pandas? Oh, damn.
Red pandas are very cute. I do like their tails.
I like, yeah, the long tail's a nice addition. A giant panda is great, but it's just a bear in a different color.
Right.
Like, what are you, a black bear or a polar bear? Pick a side.
I just want a little baby panda. That's my favorite kind of panda.
That would be kind of cool. Hey, as long as it doesn't have the voice of Jack Black and sits on the face of a snow leopard, I guess I'm fine.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let me just check audio. No, audio's there. Okay, seems like we got a fair amount of people showing up. Okay.
How many we got?
We got 6 people right now.
Cool. Oh, thank God the AC's kicking in. I'm telling you, man, New York, God, I wish. God, Arizona, man, it's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, once we're back in Canada, it won't be as big of a problem.
Oh, until I have to come back here.
Yeah. But you'll be in Canada for a month. Okay, there we go. What are you doing?
I don't have a fucking clue what I'm doing. God damn. Getting pop-ups from time to time. God, this phone is so fidgety.
Okay, well, we're definitely gonna start soon. Alright, guys, just get ready for day. Okay. Audio's ready. Second camera. Okay, question for you, Nero.
What is it?
Did you see the horror movie trailer, The Rake?
I'm sorry, the rake?
Yep, The Rake.
Is it like a horror movie with like a rake? Like the thing you use for gardening and stuff? Like that?
I don't know.
Is it like the Sideshow Bob thing? Like he steps on the rake?
Okay, you gotta move over a little bit. You're pushing me out of frame.
Oh, am I pushing you out of frame? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Get in there. Get in your frame.
I'm in the frame.
Are you in the frame? No, I did not see some trailer for something called the rake. Can you find some way to fix the audio? Again.
We don't hear.
We tested the audio. It sounds fine on our end. We can't fix it if we can't hear what a problem is.
Yeah, you have to describe the problem. What I hear is just basically the AC and such.
Okay, well that's going to be unavoidable. There's nothing we can do. The only thing we can do then is close the vent and then die of heat stroke.
Best reaction. You. You're a cutie.
Well, it's the only
Got it in speeds.
What the fuck? I don't remember. Oh, right. I was going to see if fucking messenger. Sorry.
I definitely go. Okay. Okay. Ready to talk to Incredibles 2?
No, I'm not ready.
Okay, we're sharing it to a few more people.
I gotta tell you, one of the most rewarding things we've tested out so far, I love chatting with the people.
Yeah, it is great to just see everyone's comments just in real time for everyone. And thank you everyone for showing up for this. Like, it really means a lot to us, because this is just like a really big test for us. And hopefully if we can just streamline this in the future, we'll be able to just pop this in and basically watch stuff of recent movies just right away.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess ideally in the future we would have, like, images and stuff all set up, but it'd be so friggin' infrequent to constantly have to change those.
Yeah.
What does it say? No, don't die of heat stroke. I think the great old one gave you just one resurrection. He didn't give me check. He just stopped me after. God, was it Cat in the Hat that I killed myself? No. Was it? I think in review canon, I think I killed myself after the Cat in the Hat. I ended up because there were like lines of coke on my desk, and then you see blood, and then you see that I slit my wrist, and I was like dead in the corner.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then apparently, like Cthulhu resurrected me with a luchador mask.
Right.
As per Lodge canon, can we do something about that curtain over there? Can we not push it over a scoosh?
I'm gonna. There we go.
Yeah, that's probably the best we're gonna get. All right, what are we looking at? 50 minutes. Let's see a little bit more.
Yeah.
I can always hold the laptop on my lap, I suppose.
No, we don't really need it for the actual discussion and such. We'll probably just need it for the Q&A afterwards.
Okay. So yeah, basically you guys are gonna see us perform an episode live, and then we'll answer questions afterwards. So I mean, if you're throwing questions out while we're doing it live, don't expect us to actually respond on the spot.
Yeah. That'll be something. But actually, just sort of in-depth sort of questions on like anything else, like Cartoon Corners or anything like that. We can save that for the Q&A episode, like after this. Okay.
Yeah, and I shared it on Discord. Wait, what was that message I just got? Oh, that's from her. Hold on.
You good?
Yeah, her headache was killing her.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she was even able to enjoy Incredibles 2, considering how bad her headache seemed.
Yeah, really. Okay, that's good.
Man, T, look how screwed up the bloom is on that freaking footage.
It's really not. Okay, dude, it's
like
really
when you were
not
bending
that
over, the blue LED on the power strip was even exploding.
Oh, really? Okay, well, it's really not that bad. Can you guys start with non-spoiler thoughts first?
Okay, we'll do the best we can. I'm telling you, Clint, if you're a fan of our show, you know that all we do is go into detail as much as possible about
Watchin stuff. This is sort of a spoiler dissection podcast. We'll go into as much.
Honestly, I always hate the spoiler-free ones because it's like you're talking about nothing then. Because it's like, oh, I liked this thing and I liked that thing, but I have no context what the thing is. Like,
yeah, we'll go into the basics at the beginning of that. That'll make you, and that'll give you some comfort. And we'll just draw a line, just say like, after this point, we're definitely going to be talking about more in-depth scenes and such, and more in-depth themes and such. Okay? Okay, just let me know when you're ready to do it.
I'm getting these weird fucking pop-ups. Now I'm getting a pop-up for free hookup affair. What the hell is this? What is even happening right now?
It's just a pop-up ad. Just close it.
I'm trying to close it. It won't let me close it though. Like, or it won't let me close it normally. New tab. Will that get rid of it?
Yeah, it just makes a new tab in Chrome.
Oh really? Is it like so? Is it still like open in freaking Chrome?
Yeah, it'll be under 5. There we go.
Close that. Close that. Okay, I don't know why that's even open. But
because you probably had it open before.
It's weird. Jokers and I don't care.
Okay, why are you reading news on our podcast, you doof?
We're still setting up. I wanted to give 30 minutes for people to show up. It only seemed fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh crap.
What?
Remember that Comcast bidding war between Disney and Fox?
Yeah.
Yeah, Netflix might have sniped in.
Oh wow, nice.
Hey, anything you could take away from the mouse, they are starting to get sort of a monopoly, and it's kind of looking bad.
Yeah, very true. Let's see.
Did you, On this one?
On this one, no.
Is it not muted? No, it's muted on that. Yeah, I guess it's on your laptop then.
Raccoon who would win. Is there any sort of feedback? No, this is playing nothing.
Yeah, so it's probably on your laptop then.
What?
Which rocket? Comic book rocket, movie rocket, cartoon rocket, and then which rocket from the comic? Or do you just mean like a general idea? Well, Zim is an idiot. Rocket's an idiot too, but he's just a destructive one.
Right.
Get out of here, stupid thing.
Okay. It's 11:30.
Okay, should we start?
Yep, we shall start.
All right. Do you want to put on the camera so we can have the recorded footage as well?
Yep.
Turn off my phone so we get no distractions.
Okay. Okay.
All right, guys, we're gonna begin. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Okay, you're gonna have to move over a little bit. On this stuff.
I'm trying the best I can. This chair was not made for this.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
And get ready for watching stuff live.
Hello and welcome to Watchin' Stuff, the show about watching stuff. I'm Nero. With me is my Canadian counterpart, WHYBOY, and today, 14 years in the making. Okay, 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
They finally got around to making Incredibles 2. Now keep in mind, before they got around to this, 2 Finding Nemo movies, 3 Cars movies.
Wait, 2 Finding Nemo movies? What are you talking about? There's only Finding Nemo and then Finding Dory.
As far as I'm concerned, it's part of the damn franchise. It's all the same crap.
That's not what you say when you said 2 Finding Nemo movies. I think you, sir, are silly.
So
very silly.
There are 2 movies about fish. All right.
Okay.
There are 3 car movies. For some reason.
Yeah.
I guess John Lasseter was really proud of that one. God, I wish he was caught before he even got to like Cars 2. That would have been great. He got like kicked out. We're not making Cars anymore. He's gone.
Yeah.
So now we're finally here. 14 years in the making. The Incredibles 2. A long-awaited sequel to the 2004 animated film. And if you guys hadn't seen it, we did talk about the first one last week. Click the card above whoever's head.
Yeah, and we'll just place the link. Because there is something special that we can talk about today, because this is our first episode of...
So we got an audience watching us, so, you know, if we look bad, we
always look bad, Nero.
Oh. To own it?
Yeah, to own it.
Is it like Kratos says? We don't need to be sorry, we just need to be better?
Exactly. But we just need to feel more sorry. Because then people will feel sorry for us.
Anyways, so Incredibles 2. This has been a long talked about movie, and I'm surprised that... I'm kind of surprised they're doing it now, because part of it is that it...
Like, there's a big superhero climate right now?
There's a huge superhero climate right now. They're making... Superhero movies are always churning out now, more than ever. Especially because Disney owns Marvel. And I think they always aim for 2 to 3 films a year now.
Yeah. So, it's not like it's completely unprecedented to have Incredibles 2 come back. Especially in this new modern age of superhero movies.
I wonder if that's why it happened, though. Like, I understood that I've seen interviews where Brad Bird talked about a sequel for a long time now.
Right.
And he would always say, like, oh, I want to do a sequel, but I want it to be a story that's worth telling. And to me, it's wondering, because it just took so long, did it take so long because he was just waiting to find the good story to tell? Or was Disney like, hey, look, man, superheroes are like an all-time high right now. We're riding that like Infinity War money train right now. You need to crap out Incredibles 2, all right?
Yeah.
You need to get to it.
Yeah, definitely. Like we discussed in our first podcast, we had some worries for Incredibles 2.
Oh yeah.
Like from the trailers and such, we were worried that this was going to be another like girl power sort of movie.
Yeah, like Ghostbusters 2016.
Yeah, exactly. Where Elastigirl just goes off on her own, just to be a cool crime-fighting gal.
Can you believe that there's really no point in this movie that does that? Where
No.
it's like, hot damn, a female superhero. No, it's just like, there's a superhero, and that's it.
And it's from the clip from the first movie. It's like, what was it? It's like, have all the men go out just to be the superheroes? I don't think so. That was her saying that from the first movie, so that, you can't even count that as the second movie making a message. And I find that really strong and powerful, because the point of Helen being a great superhero is that she's the superhero, not the fact that she doesn't have a penis between her legs.
Yeah, well, it goes back to the out of all the shows to make such a point. It goes back to that Sonic Boom clip with Knuckles, where he flat out mentions, you know, if you bring attention to it and treat it as an exception as opposed to just treating it like it's the status quo, then you're completely defeating the purpose of it even existing.
Right.
And like, I like that. Like, this movie's a little bit of everything. I kind of like that. Like, okay, so the basic story is it is literally picking up directly after the first film. Like, at the end of that first movie with the Underminer, it directly picks up from that, where they're fighting the Underminer, who is attempting to rob a bank.
Yeah.
And
yeah, the Incredibles try to stop him, but he gets away, and the Incredibles get basically caught by the police. Heroing, which is still illegal.
I just realized that they never caught him.
Yeah, no.
Like, even when the movie ended, it's like, oh, there was never like a follow-up to that. He just got away. He's like underground somewhere doing something.
Maybe realistically,
no, he didn't have that money. Remember, they blew up his. Oh no, they didn't blow up his drill.
No, they didn't. He went into his own drill, which was filled with the money, and then he went away.
Oh yeah, then he's probably like chilling on an island somewhere, like in Cabo, with his cool robot hands.
Yeah.
He's cute.
Yeah. So the Incredibles are basically relocated again
to a motel.
Yeah, and the government person has been basically his whole sector has been disbanded.
That's so sad that like his entire sector got like liquidated because they're like, look, like what was it? Like the governments flat out came together. Like Congress said, you know what? That's it. We're done. No more superheroes. Just cut this crap.
Yeah, stop helping them or anything like that. They're on their own.
Yeah, that's it. They're screwed. And that to me is like, oh. And I can't help. Actually, I'll bring that up after we're done talking about the story. So from there, eventually they are contacted by this wealthy entrepreneur, which is kind of like the first movie actually, because Bob was contacted by Syndrome in the original, who was like a wealthy entrepreneur, and
but this guy is on the straight and narrow still. Yeah,
like this character is this. It's funny. This so reminds me of comic books.
Yeah,
because this God, I can't remember his name in this, because he was you know what I was thrown away with this character the entire time was the voice. I'm like, I know this voice. And I couldn't put it. I figured out who it was at the very end.
Who?
If you ever seen Breaking Bad, there's like this really scummy conman lawyer called Saul.
Oh.
It was that guy. He was voicing the rich dude, because the guy voicing Rick, the liaison for Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl, his voice actor is also on Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there the entire time and I'm like, man, I know this rich guy's voice from somewhere. Where's it from? This is driving me crazy. And it just kept like spinning in the back of my head. And then like at the very end, as soon as the credits roll, Better Call Saul. That was it. That's who it was.
Yeah,
and it was just driving me nuts.
Because from the show, Saul is a disgusting scumbag basically in the show. And with this guy, he's just a superhero fanboy who just wants to bring the supers back into the limelight.
It's funny because DC Comics had a character like this called Maxwell Lord, and he wasn't as eccentric. But Maxwell Lord's whole thing was he believed in the superhero community, so he actually funded his own small team of like B-list superheroes.
Right.
And then eventually DC screwed it up and made him a bad guy, and he started murdering people, and it turned into a whole horrible kerfuffle. I like with this guy though is like it was all genuine. It was like a superhero. It was like a little boy grew up into a man who was such a fan of superheroes that's like it's unfair that you people aren't appreciated for what you do.
It is sort of a parallel to like what Syndrome was as well, because he was a little fanboy of superheroes, but his sort of fanboyism grew into something poisonous, which made him kill a bunch of supers in his movie.
Yeah, well, like Syndrome was like the toxic fanboy, so like he grew he grew very resentful of like Mr. Incredible because Mr. Incredible just didn't give him what he wanted.
Yeah.
And he basically turned into that selfish little kid as an adult.
Yeah, and then this guy actually just sees superheroes. That's what they are. They're icons. They're icons that make you feel safe, and that just push you into being a better person.
I wonder if Brad Bird was inspired because like Man of Steel happened, and it was like so dour about Superman. Because like in a real world with Superman, it's not going to be, you know, he flies over us and we smile up at him, or that like he takes a kitten from a tree and we're all happy he's here. But it's going to be like, no, man, it's horrifying if Superman actually existed. Think how destructive he would be. Think how dangerous he would be. I can't help but think Brad Bird, like, while writing this was like, no, damn it, you're supposed to love superheroes. They're supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
And, like, if we're supposed to just fear them, what's the point?
Right.
That's not a superhero then.
It's just a super jerk.
Well, it's like how we're with cops right now.
Yeah.
Like, we're like, a lot of people are like really afraid of cops.
Yeah.
And it's like, you shouldn't be afraid of cops. Cops should be your friends.
Yeah, they should be basically real-life superheroes.
Yeah, exactly the point. And that's what I think with this character is coming in, where it's like, superheroes should be appreciated, they should be loved, and he was really adamant about bringing that back to the foreground, about getting, like, Congress to push a new legislation that says, like, superheroes are back and allowed to be out and...
Elastigirl and Frozone there, he wants to have one of them be basically the poster person for this new movement.
Yeah, because you want to have somebody who is strong, not just physically, but like, you know,
a strong people person.
Yeah, like a strong like persona that can be projected.
Yeah, so Mr. Incredible can't be that because he's kind of the face of the whole reason why there are no more supers.
Yeah, it's that, and look, I love Mr. Incredible, I adore him, but he's like a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, when your only ability is like you're super durable and super strong, chances are you're just gonna break stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't have the luxury of Superman's other abilities, where it's like he's also super fast, he's also hyper intelligent. You know, he's got X-ray vision, X-ray hearing, and all these other abilities.
Right.
So it's like, look, you could hit stuff good. That's not really that great for all situations.
And so that's why Elastigirl is chosen to be the spokesperson of this new legislation push.
How come not Frozone? Because he's black? Like, thinking about it now, it's like, wait a minute, why didn't they choose Frozone? And it's like...
Because his powers are actually, like, really diversible and such. Like,
actually, his are kind of devastating if you think about it, because he puts ice everywhere.
Yeah. He just takes the moisture out of the air and all that. He can make snow and all that sort of stuff, just stopping things. Like, I guess just Elastigirl. Because
it's probably the, like, least destructive in terms of powers.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, she stretches. That's it.
Yeah, she can just give you a really nasty punch.
Yeah, I guess if you're like, look, if we're comparing, like, look, who here's the most dangerous? Probably Bob.
Yeah, Mr. Incredible will just basically make your insides your outsides one punch.
Yeah, Frozone, I mean, we've seen that he can
make your insides popsicles.
Yeah, well, we've seen he could freeze you without killing you, because he did that in the first movie when the cop shot at him.
Right.
Like, he was able to... So, I don't know, like, just thinking about it now, it's like, why didn't they choose Frozone? They never even gave, like, a reason. But at the same time, he didn't seem like he was even upset that they chose Helen. He was just like, cool.
Yeah. It's he probably just thought, like, you know, Elastigirl. She's popular, she's very personable, and everyone really likes her.
Also, Disney likes having female leads, so I mean that probably made them happy too. They're probably gonna market that somehow.
Oh yeah, that's probably what they were marketing it in the trailers and all that.
Kind of, because if you watch the trailer, it's not the same movie you're kind of getting.
Yeah.
I expected
all the the fanboys around her just going like, "Oh my God, she's a great female superhero."
Some of the fanboys, I was maybe expecting some of the. I figured they might have gone a bit more political, where it's like some of the women are like, oh, she's too busy to be raising her super family. She's out here. What's that about? You've seen it where it's like there are people who get mad at women who decide, I just want to be a stay-at-home mom. Like there are women who get mad at other women for like, why don't you want a career? Why don't you want to get out? I just want to be a stay-at-home mom and raise my kids. Yeah. What's wrong with you? Why do you care? Why is this a problem? Like I can't raise my damn kid now?
Yeah, and that's what was one of our biggest worries. But it doesn't really go in that way because Elastigirl goes off to be basically the superhero for this company. And Bob gets basically put back at home. He's the stay-at-home parent now.
I really loved that angle so much because one of the things we missed out on the first film we really didn't get to see Helen be too much of a stay-at-home mom. We saw bits and pieces, but really, even the first movie, it was more about Bob a little bit capturing the lightning in the bottle and dealing with, you know, the demons of his past. Like, you know, I wish I had that glory days. I don't have it anymore. Look look at the monster I created because of how I acted.
Yeah, basically because in a lot of ways, she was basically written as someone who's basically has the home life under control and all that. It's basically Bob's the one that usually throws in disarray each time, and she has to be the one to basically just sort of keep the family on the straight and narrow. So that would make more sense in the first movie. But now that you put both of the parents into completely diametric opposite scenarios.
Except she owns it right away. Like, her, as soon as she jumps back into superheroing, she's just as awesome as she was before. It's like, she didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
And you remember, I mentioned in the last review, I had said to you, like, I hope there's not going to be, like, a scene where she, like, resents Bob because he spends time with the kids and she doesn't. And the closest thing you get wasn't even her. It was just, Bob was only just a bit upset because he wishes he was out there being a superhero, but like he doesn't even hate her for it or anything.
Yeah, he's just really frustrated over it, which is actually so much more natural.
Well, yeah, because he's like, that's what I'm good at. I'm good at being like. You have that moment in the movie, like after everything compiles, he has that that very sweet, sincere moment with Violet, and he just says, "I just wish I was a good dad," and you're just like. Oh man, you're a great dad. What are you talking about? You love these kids like, dude, you stayed up all night learning new forms of mathematics just so you could teach your son.
Yeah.
That is so beyond what I expect the Call of Duty to have been.
Yeah, Incredibles 2 basically does everything that we wished for in the first movie to have. We got Bob to be an actual father to these kids because he doesn't really super in this movie at all.
No, and I prefer that.
Yeah, I really did prefer sort of stuff. We saw him struggle with that.
Yeah.
We saw him persevere against that. We saw him overcome that. Now he has to overcome being an actual family now. Actually have to go back to the actual family life and all that.
Yeah, and that's the thing where it's like, you see him, the way he deals with everything is so genuine and real, and it's stuff that I didn't experience, like with my parents. Like, dude, when I was bad at math, I was kind of vaguely left on my own. Maybe I went to tutoring and stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of help I got from my friend Duke, who helped me through math. But like, I never had like my father crack open a math book, try to understand it, then come and help me.
Yeah, and you see him go from being super frustrated about it to actually persevering towards it.
Yeah, that's why I love that scene where he's just like, Dad, I don't think that's the way they want me to do that. Well, that's the way I know how to do it. Yeah, but that's not how they want me to do it.
Why did they change math?
Like, math is math. Who cares as long as you get the right answer? Yeah, but that's not how they want it. Math is math. That's how it works. And you're just like, dude. From me to you, I've been there, man. No question. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But it's so real. Because then, like, you know, he gets that boiling point where it's like, I need to step it up.
He's stressed. He hasn't slept at all because he's been trying so hard to basically be that perfect dad for his wife because Helen at this point doesn't really fully believe in Bob to really take care of everything because Bob's been the one that's basically been always at the insurance agency and all that. Been the away parent and such.
Mm-hmm. So the idea of him, it's not like she's like, oh, you're gonna screw up the kids. It was more like, you just have no experience in this. At least like she could even make the argument, I was a superhero before I settled down, so me becoming a superhero again isn't that big of a stretch. No pun intended.
Yeah.
Whereas with you, you were the away dad, you were the businessman, you were the breadwinner.
Yeah.
You have no understanding of how this works.
Yeah.
So this is all new territory for you, and you're definitely going to struggle with it. And he totally does, but it's so endearing, because like everything he does is him just trying to be a good father. And it's heartwarming.
Yeah, I feel that is sort of really one of the backbones of the movie. That really makes it more endearing even than the first one. But in a way, I don't want to say like one is like the second is better than the first one.
It's two different stories. It really depends on what story resonates with you more. Does the first one resonate with you more in that it's like sort of like, you know, it's like the passing of heroes, like, oh, they're not allowed to be around anymore. So it's the first one's way more dreary comparatively to this one. This one feels a lot more upbeat.
Happy and just pushing forward and such. While this one basically just overcoming adversity.
Yeah.
And there's definitely something that can be said that both of them have their pros and cons to them.
And I'm sure if we rewatch this and, you know, did like a CC or an NR, we'd probably pull more from it, most certainly, because we'd be able to go through it with like a fine-tooth comb.
Right. But speaking of, it's just sort of an initial viewing experience sort of thing. Like in Incredibles and Incredibles 2, they're both very solid stories with very solid narratives to them.
Yeah, and it depends on what resonates with you more on a personal level. I 100% knew where they were going with the villain with this.
Yeah.
I won't spoil the mystery.
I just want to say, just to our viewers right now, spoilers are definitely coming now. We're going to talk about more about the villain and all that sort of stuff. So, spoilers at this point. Moving forward, go.
I knew it was going to be her.
Yeah.
Like the moment those two characters showed up, I was like, well, the obvious one would be him, so it's not going to be that. It's going to be her.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
Yeah. This is the villain, the screen slaver. It's funny.
Oh, that's such a Silver Agey supervillain name.
Yeah.
It's like there's it's like Spellbinder. That was a thing.
Yeah.
Riddler and stuff.
Yeah, it's basically just this new hypnosis superhero that
supervillain.
Yeah, supervillain that Elastigirl has to fight. That's been setting Elastigirl up on these really huge, horrible travesties, like a train derailing, the kidnapping of a senator.
Mm-hmm. Well, it wasn't even really a kidnapping so much as an attempted murder of a senator.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's not really kidnapping when you try to crash a helicopter into another helicopter.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I'm not sure at that point it's like, it's not really kidnapping, that's just murder.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot to be said about this villain in terms of compared to Syndrome and such. Because Syndrome definitely had a much more drearier sort of...
I'm not sure which one I prefer, because, like, her motivation, I knew it the moment they told the backstory for the two kids.
Yeah.
Like, because, like, they were talking, like, when we were kids, our dad, who was like this weird Walt Disney looking dude, idolized superheroes, and he idolized them to such a degree that when robbers broke into their house, he tried calling his superhero friends. He tried calling Gazerbeam and, I can't remember the other guy, the fire guy.
Yeah.
And obviously Syndrome killed them.
Yeah.
In the first film, he killed them when he was doing his experiment with the Omni Droid, so they were dead. And that guy didn't know about that. And so when the criminals who broke into his house saw that he was on the phone, they shot him dead. And then his wife died a couple months later of heartbreak. And the son grew up thinking, if we had the supers around, this wouldn't have been a problem. If we had these people protecting us, the world would be safer. The world would be better.
And the girl grew up basically because we had these supers around. We got so attached to them. We basically grew to be weaker and not be able to self-reliant.
That's also pulled actually from comics. Depending on what era you're reading, some versions of Lex Luthor, one of the reasons why he hates Superman is because he sees Superman as basically like stagnation personified.
Yeah, basically just sort of excuse for people to basically be lazy and such while Superman saves the day.
Yeah, like one of the things he is. It's like we're in the Dark Ages. Everybody looks at you like some kind of magical god. Now we don't need to progress. We don't need to get smarter. We don't need to do anything for ourselves because you're going to do everything for us. And it makes him angry because Lex Luthor is a person who grew up impoverished. And because he grew up impoverished, he grew up in an abusive household. Becoming the billionaire he is, he's a self-made man. Yeah, he did scummy things to get there, but he built himself up. So the idea that Superman shows up and it's like, you're everything I frickin' was working against. You know, you're the frickin' roadblock to us moving forward. And that's how the supervillain sees it. This is how the screenslaver sees it. It's like, you're a roadblock. Because you know what's going to happen? You people show up, and we expect you to do everything. Which, if you actually go back to the first movie, she wasn't wrong. Because remember, like, Bon Voyage got away, and the cops look at Mr. Krell and said, aren't you going to help us catch him? You're cops!
Yeah.
You're supposed to also catch your bad guys too, dude!
So that is very intelligent, because both ways are correct in a sense.
Oh, yeah.
Like, superheroes do save the day, but we get to
complacent.
Get complacent and attached to them.
No, that's one of the best ways you can write a compelling villain versus... okay, we've done the whole entertaining villain argument where you and I have said, like, a villain who's just fun, like Pete from the Three Musketeers Mickey Mouse cartoon.
Yeah,
you know,
with a big personality, boisterous personality that basically sort of reflects what the main heroes are trying to stand for against them. Can be really fun. Yeah,
and he's just quirky, and you know, he doesn't really have any deep philosophical motivation of why he wants power. It's the same thing like Hades. Hades doesn't have some deep emotional reason why he wants power. He's just like, screw Zeus. Yeah, why am I not king of the gods? Screw him.
Yeah, and just his personality is just an offset of the main heroes, and basically that's why they clash.
Yeah, disagree with on viewpoints. And it, you know, some people are like, oh, if you agree with the villain, you're bad. No, you have to look at it like both ways. Are superheroes being around great? They can be. Superheroes can do great things for the community. They could lift morale. They have the potential to do great things. But they also have the potential to cause stagnation.
Yeah.
Because it's like, look, if you're a cop in Gotham City, let's be honest. Are you really going to go after the Joker? Or are you just going to leave it to the guy in the bat costume to take care of it?
Right, exactly. Like, there was a bit of writing advice that I got a while back. Like, most villains don't see themselves as the villain. They see themselves as the hero of their own story.
Oh, yeah. Like, and that's the thing. Like, if you go to some of the certain Marvel films, and it depends on which ones you go to, like Infinity War, Thanos, his plan is to wipe out half of life in the known universe so that the other half may thrive, so that the other half won't be stuck with limited resources.
Right.
In his view, as horrible as it is, he thinks he's the good guy.
Yeah, like the villain in Black Panther as well. Like, even though his thing
Killmonger?
was like... Yeah, Killmonger.
Well,
is
except the writing at some point, you just go, well, you're just a racist crazy person. That's,
yeah, he
that's
may be
it.
just a racist crazy person, but at the same time, he's still thinking like, oh, we just... like, these people have been oppressing us for years and years and years, so we have to just take it all back from them. Just make them pay for it.
That's literally two wrongs trying to make a right.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, no.
Yeah, it's close to it. It's just a badly written version of that. And at the same time, it's like, we got because the slaves, man. I remember the slaves.
I'd rather be free than in bondage. Asshole, you grew up in like Chicago or something. You weren't like put on a boat and whipped repeatedly for not picking cotton.
You just lived in a sucky neighborhood.
Yeah, you lived in a crap neighborhood and your dad died. That sucks. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, the very most you would have to deal with like police-based racism and such.
And even then, we don't know that. We're just inferring it might have happened.
Yeah.
Because that's all we can do. But that's the thing. Good villains are ones that make you think they're kind of right. Thanos, he might be right. He's clearly a crazy person.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, but if the other half can thrive and be better to reach a utopia, and he's tested it on other alien worlds and it's worked, he's not 100% wrong then, because he's got like factual data that's like, it works.
Right.
So you're like, okay, still pretty screwed up. You know, Doctor Doom is the same way in comics, where Doctor Doom's like, I've looked through the multiverse, and I've noticed one thing. Only one world is safe from prejudice, world hunger, and all manner of disease. What's that? Doom World. When I'm king god of everything, everyone else is happy and safe.
Right.
And it's like, well, I can't fault that logic, though. He looked
to actually do it because do it in an awful way.
Yeah, because that asks like the moral question. Would you rather be happy, complacent and safe, or free will and there being always risk involved?
Right.
Because what's really living? And actually, that's sort of what's brought up in this a little bit, because like this, like Screenslaver brings up, where it's like you're all so complacent now because of the supers. Yeah. Because you expect them just to come in and help you, and that's it. You don't want to do anything for yourselves.
Yeah. So Screenslaver is a really fun villain, and
better written, a bit better than Syndrome, because when you get down to it, Buddy was just some angry, pathetic fanboy.
But at the same time, that does make him almost a strong sort of character as well. He's basically a lot more emotion-based and such.
He's psychotic.
Basically just hits about right where it hurts. Like, he made his fan turn into that, which basically hurts him deep down like that.
Yeah, it's a different kind of villain.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And I'm glad it wasn't just like, they didn't rehash. There's like no rehashing in this.
It's like Syndrome again, but with a scar over his eye.
I was genuinely surprised, because there was a small part in that's like, is it going to be like Mecha Syndrome or like a clone, because that's a thing in comics, or is it going to be like a life model Decoy was the one that was destroyed?
Right.
And it's like, no, Syndrome's dead, dude. This is someone else. And it's just like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Okay. And honestly, if they do go 3, which, again, I'm fine if they don't. Again, this is another movie where you're like, satisfied. I can do without having a sequel. If I get one that's as good,
good.
Great. Otherwise, I'm satisfied. I don't want them to ever bring back Syndrome. I don't want them to go backwards.
Yeah.
You got to keep going forward. New villains, new ideas, new directions.
Right.
Like a villain they still haven't dealt with, they need to fight like a Joker. They need to fight somebody that's all about anarchy. Like, not that they want to upset the status quo, but so much that they just love, like, glowing crap. Like, they're not normal. Like, you can pinpoint intelligent villains. They're easier to pinpoint because they usually have, like, a certain motif of how they go about doing things.
Yeah, and certain just the way they go about their plans and such. It basically has just sort of a mental through line through each one.
Yeah, like Lex Luthor is so arrogant with his stupid robots half the time. He'll use like computer chips.
Score chip.
Yeah, it's a LexCorp computer chip, and he's like, well, that shipment could have easily been stolen from one of my warehouses. I dare you to disprove it.
You're under arrest.
No, and he gets away with stuff like that because he's a rich billionaire that's untouchable. That's one of the funniest jokes in this movie, actually.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm sorry that your sister's going to go to jail, and then Violet goes, I'm sorry that she's so rich, she's probably going to just get a slap on the wrist for this.
And he's like, Violet, I just want to say I like you.
I think that's just so funny because all of us have had that thought every time we see a celebrity or a wealthy person in the news for something. Like, what was it? It was Justin Bieber. Like, Justin Bieber caught DUI. His ass should just go to jail because he was endangering people. Nah, you have to pay like a couple thousand and you'll be back on the street in no time. Oh, it must be nice to be such a crappy singer and have all that money that you're able to, like, endanger the lives of your fellow man like a douchebag.
Yeah, exactly.
And and you're off.
Yeah, so the villain of this whole piece was great. But I think the last thing we should really talk about is the kids. Because in the last movie...
They're characters now.
Yeah, Dash and Violet were quite simply the weakest characters in that whole movie. As they didn't really have a sort of a purpose to be there.
They were... Well, their purpose was emotional. That was it. Like, they were there because, like, oh, if it was Bob's wife just on the plane, that's sad. And now if it's Bob's wife and his kids on the plane, that's much worse.
Yeah. But other than that, nothing much else.
No, Violet actually has a character in this. She's a teenager. Like, you could argue, oh, she's annoying in this. Of course she's annoying in this. She's a teenager.
Yeah, I never really found her annoying. I definitely found her, like, erratic as a teenager and such.
Well, that's what I mean by annoying, is, like, she acts like 100% like a teenage girl does.
Yeah.
Like, she gets upset when she, like, gets embarrassed. She gets upset when things aren't working out. She gets upset when, like, the boy she likes doesn't respond to her. But it's not a creepy thing. There's a whole weird, hilarious story where they handled it very quickly, but it was handled in a good way where Violet got seen with her mask off, so her secret identity got figured out, and they mind wiped the kid that she asked out at the end of the first movie, and they mind whammied him so hard that he forgot who she was.
Yeah.
And she was so heartbroken, and you're just like, oh, this is so sad.
Yeah.
And Bob tries so damn hard to be a good dad, to do the right thing. So it's like, okay, I know he works at this place. He works at this, like, Denny's that is, like, parents owned. I'll go to this diner.
I'll get them to talk.
Everything will be fine then. And it goes completely down the crapper.
It actually went down the crapper in a really funny way that I wasn't really expecting.
Oh, came completely out of left field. How it went down.
Yeah, that makes it really great. Like, I think a lot of people are going to get a good laugh out of that.
Oh, yeah. And I like the fact that everything Bob does, though, with his kids, he has great moments with all of his children. It's not like the first film where you're like, he doesn't really do too much. Like, he
throws a football with Dash.
He throws a football with Dash, and that's it. You know, he and his wife clearly have a romantic relationship, but that's really it. You don't really see him do much with Violet. Doesn't really... Jack is barely even acknowledged in that first film.
Yeah.
I mean, the first film puts Jack like on the bus to go away for the majority of that film.
Yeah.
That other than at the very, like, towards the end where Syndrome tries to abduct him, or when they call the babysitter.
Yeah.
You kind of feel like, oh, right, they have a third kid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I totally kind of forgot that was the thing.
But this time, Jack is a much more bigger player now. He's still sort of like a MacGuffin sort of thing, because, like, the first movie, he basically has, like, almost infinite amount of powers.
Yeah, well, it kind of goes back to the first movie, too, because the way Edna described him in the first film, she said, he's just potential.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know what he is. He's just potential right now. So even in this movie, they just dial it up. He could ignite himself with pyrokinesis. He could increase his mass. He can teleport through dimensions.
Multiply.
He can biofission. That's another one. Monster. So, like, Berserker Rage. He could do whatever. He's a whatever baby.
Yeah, Bob said he had like 17 powers.
Yeah, oh no, he said like you only missed the first 17 powers.
Yeah, right.
When she's like, I missed Jack's first powers, honey. You missed Jack's for 17 powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I gotta say though, like the father moments with him are all really good. Like him realizing I have to teach my boy math.
Yeah, that's strong.
Like, I love that. He cracks open the math book and he reads it and he gets him up before school and he goes, "Hey, Dash, I think I understand your math now. Do you want to try and get it finished before you go to school?"
Yeah.
And he helps them and they figure it out together.
And then him trying to talk with Violet and such, through taking her to the restaurant and him having his near psychotic breakdown near the ending of the movie.
Oh, where he's got like the hilarious bloodshot eyes and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, those are strong moments with Violet as well. They seem like very endearing. And then you have the Jack moments, which are definitely...
Can you believe that raccoon was only one scene?
Yeah,
I swear, he's on the poster. I thought he was going to be like the... Okay, no joke.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be like the Incredipet.
Yeah,
I thought that was going to be the thing.
Yeah, because we were looking at a nearby Walmart, and there was Jack, and this like little raccoon thing, and you were telling me it's just like, it's going to be like, oh crap, they're going to have like a thing throughout the whole movie and all that.
No, it's just one really funny scene is, Bob falls asleep watching television, and Jack was watching TV with him, and Jack is watching a old black and white serial of like cops and robbers, and the robber is some dude in a bandit mask. And then Jack looks out the glass door and sees a raccoon in the garbage can. And then he looks at like the bandit, and then he looks at the raccoon.
It's a fuzzy raccoon mask.
And he's like, it's the same thing. So Jack spends like 5 minutes defending the house, and he gets into this amazing... Oh, he's also like super durable.
Yeah.
He gets into like an amazing fist fight with this raccoon. And I can't help it the entire time I was thinking, like, you know, if Grunkle Stan was here, he would have been recording this to sell it.
You know, just placing bets on it.
Baby's fighting raccoons. I could sell this. he's got like the camera phone out, and you're like, no, Grunkle Stan, what are you doing? Yeah. And like I love it because like Bob sees that, and he's like, oh my god, oh my fine.
Oh, thank God, you're perfectly fine.
I was like, oh, you got superpowers. And like all of them go off simultaneously, and he's just like, oh yeah, my baby's a super baby. And he's like, he was like, they couldn't do this story because they botched it by the end of the first film.
Yeah.
But they could have done a story where it's like, what if you're a super family and you don't have superpowers, which they kind of did on a old Disney made-for-TV movie. It was called Up and Away. It's really old. I seriously doubt you remember it.
I'm just trying to think of like the new Disney one they basically...
Sky High.
Yeah, Sky High, that was it. And I'm also thinking My Hero Academia with that as well.
Yeah, well, but Sky High was different because in Sky High, the kid ended up getting super strength and flight. Like he originally didn't have powers, and that was the thing, is like, you just don't have powers, and there's nothing wrong with that. You'll end up being a sidekick, and there should be no shame in being a sidekick. And then he gets his dad's super strength and his mom's flight, so he's essentially Superman. So yeah, there's like that story has no weight at that point.
Right.
Whereas like Up and Away was, there was a kid and he was in a family and his dad was essentially like Superman, and everyone in his family had powers, but he didn't. So he didn't feel special. Yeah. And there's always that interesting story you could play. They play it for a good portion of Hotel Transylvania, and that's where it's good. And then they roll a natural one and then botch it at the third act. So they ruin the story. But if Jack never was established to have powers, they could have gone that angle where it's like, how would Bob feel knowing one of his kids isn't super? Would he still love them all? I mean, I think he most certainly would love them all the same.
Yeah, I think that's just an obvious question.
But it's like, that would be interesting to see how would they deal with having a non-super child. Yeah. But they can't do it now, and I don't really care that they can't. I actually would like to see if they did go third film, like...
Is there some method they could do that in?
No, not even do that, but more like, I would like to see the kids older. Yeah. Like Teen Titan age. Maybe like Dash maybe early teens, Violet slightly towards adulthood, maybe like the 18 age, and maybe like Jack is like a 6-year-old superhero or something like that. Yeah. Something kind of like that to play with because like I would like the kids to also have just a bit more personality, even though they were really good in this movie. They were fantastic. I still think my favorite scene in this was not any of the action scenes. It really was just Bob sitting on the couch, and he says, I just want to be a good dad. Yeah. Because he feels horrible. He feels like he's not a good dad to his children, and that's horrible for a parent to feel, because no parent wants to be
a horrible parent.
Bad for their kid. Yeah. Like, you don't want to be toxic for your child.
Of course.
You know, again, this is why I keep crying, like, when I watch, like, Dad of War, because the whole thing with Kratos' whole thing is just that I want to be good for my boy. That's all I want to be.
I know.
So, like, all Bob wants to do is, like, I want to be good for my kids. I want to be able to, like, he even says, like, at one point, he says, like, I know math. I should be able to teach my son math. Of course I should. So he goes downstairs in his robe, he cracks open a math book, and he frickin' reads it so he could teach his baby boy how to do math.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that he just sits down and wants to talk with Violet, and he wants to help her. He doesn't want her to be sad.
Yeah.
No father would want that. I even love the father and children bonding moment where he's like, "Hey, check this out," and he teaches Jack how to shoot his heat vision by saying "pew,"
Yes.
and they use Jack like a gun.
Yeah.
And then he looks at the kids. He goes, "No firing the baby in the house. I think that's a rule we can all agree on." And it's like, that's cute. Like,
Yeah.
because this goes back to a Grant Morrison rule of writing Superman. Grant Morrison had said at one point, when it comes to writing Superman, and of course he speaks with a Scottish accent, so I'm going to throw in a really bad Scottish accent.
Of course, I allow you.
And he goes, Superman is like us. He's like us in every way, except he's super. You walk your dog. What do you do with your dog? You walk him around the block, right? Superman takes his dog and he walks him across the rings of Saturn. Superman's just like you. Just everything he does is super.
Yeah.
That's what superhero parents need to be. That you need to be a parent, but you just need to be super about it.
Right.
Like, you know, Bob is a parent who teaches his kids. Even though the things he does with his children, with the exception of Jack, who he does do is specifically superpowered based.
Yeah.
Everything else he does with Dash and Violet, it's being a dad.
It's pretty normal.
Like, oh, your daughter's depressed about something that happened at school, you talk to her. Oh, your son's having trouble with homework, you help him.
Right.
And that's all good. The stuff with Helen isn't bad, but it's more of just... It's just sort of like action fluff to a degree. Not in a terrible way.
I personally really liked it. I think those
like it,
action set pieces were actually really well done. Like in comparison to like the first movie's action set pieces, definitely with the animation upgrade and such.
Oh yeah,
the
hair looks so much better now.
Yeah, they're so much more impactful now.
It's even nice that when she stops a train, she didn't give like everybody whiplash and then got sued. So
yeah,
she beats her husband.
Yeah, I kind of like that callback because there was like the trains were detached and basically left sight, and I was like, oh no, they didn't get whiplash.
Oh, thank God. It's not like oh God, it's happening again. Not again. We're gonna have to go underground, and we're all gonna be like banned again for the umpteenth time. No, but like that's the thing is that I think when it got down to it, I like her stuff. But I loved Bob being a dad. It was so heartfelt. There were so many moments where it's just like,
yeah,
it was so hard for me not to cry.
Right.
And I'm telling you, that just that bit where it's just like, I want to be a good dad. It's just like, you are a good dad.
Yeah.
Stop being so hard on yourself. You're essentially being a single parent right now. It's not easy.
Right.
But like, I love this movie.
Yeah, I loved it too.
I wouldn't say better, but I certainly wouldn't say worse. I've really gotten sick of that too, where people are like, you know,
better or worse?
Well, there's. I've always hated the argument where people are like, if it doesn't beat the first one, then the sequel shouldn't matter. And it's like, nah. I mean, don't get me wrong. If it's better, like you should always progress forward with your movies.
Right.
But dude, if you can watch a movie where you love the sequel as much as you love the first one, I call that a success. It's like Paddington Bear.
Yeah.
We thought after the first Paddington Bear, it was gonna be like, oh, that's it. Like they can't make lightning strike twice, and then man. So good.
Yeah, so you would rate this?
Oh, must see.
Yeah.
I can't praise this film enough. The animation's fantastic. The actors, even the new voice actors, are fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything I would change with this movie. I can't think of too much I would say I disliked about this movie. I may be watching it again. I would ingest more and take something else that I was like, I don't like that. But no, like it did everything I kind of wanted. Like, oh, I want to see Bob being a parent. Got that. Helen being a cool superhero. I got that. Helen didn't resent her husband for spending time with her kids. Not a problem. Never came up.
You got Violet and Dash actually being characters. We got that.
We got that. We got more supers showing up now, coming out of the woodworks. I mean, they were all kind of lame, unfortunately. Which
they were kind of just all this is side dressing sort of thing. But I didn't think they were.
Come on, one guy was literally his power is he's a freaking owl.
Hey, you had Owlman in one of your comic book universes, but I guess that was just Ultimate Universe Batman.
He was just asshole Batman, which I guess he's just Batman who kills people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's just Batman, pretty much. Yeah,
yeah. It could have just been a callback to that because he kind of looked doofy like that, just like it's doofy.
I think part of the thing that I'm glad they didn't make like no one was like an obvious pastiche of anything. So it's not like you looked at somebody and you're like, oh, that's Superman. That's awkward. Okay, like Supermansion. You and I really love Supermansion.
Yeah.
But even you sitting there watching, you're like, I'm not a comic book reader, but I'm pretty certain I can guess who most of these characters are clearly just a parody of.
Right.
And some of them, it's like, it's unbearably obvious. Like, Titanium Rex. Oh, I wonder who this could be for anybody.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah, right. So in this one, it's like, everybody is a unique hero. It's not like those powers never existed in comics or anything.
Yeah.
They're all unique heroes, but I couldn't stand a reason where it's like, man, you're all so lame, though. Like generic, just big, strong guy, and you're like, lame. Portal opener, lame. Owl guy, that one's a little unique, but also kind of lame.
I thought the portal girl had a really cool superpower.
Oh, Portal, I've seen it done.
No, I've never seen it done.
Oh, yeah.
I thought
there's a
really
character
cool.
called Blink in Marvel Comics that does the same thing. She looks like a pixie, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, Voight's cool. She's an awesome character. Yeah. If anything, I would like to see her come back, and if they make a third film, if they even did a TV show for this, they could probably do something with all those other extra supers running around.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, now that the supers are back, after all, yeah.
Yeah. I would like to see, you know what I would like to see in a third film?
What?
I want a Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
A team of super villains to go against a team of supers. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah, that would
and
be
it
good.
would be cool, just throwing this out there, maybe they form like a Justice League? Like Frozone and Mr. Incredible and Mrs. Incredible and the kids and maybe the other supers.
You know what I actually sort of liked? I liked the fact that they always called her Elastigirl in this.
Well,
like,
because
they never called her Mrs. Incredible.
I'm sure for marquee value, like when they make the toys and stuff, they'll probably call her Mrs. Incredible because DC
But
might
even
throw
in
a
the credits,
lawsuit.
they had Elastigirl, not Mrs.
Just like throw it, bam!
No.
A lot of money.
No.
I didn't. Oh, here's one thing I didn't like. I didn't like her costume.
Yeah. I guess that was sort of the point because
like even she's like
at the moment you're like, someone else designed a costume. That's always great.
It was nice to see her come back and just be. She was just as quirky as ever. She was so funny.
Yeah.
But like I agreed with her too. Where it's like, this is Elastigirl's new costume. Not a fan.
Yeah.
It's like gray with more gray and then black boots and just a little bit of red. And I'm like,
stupid.
I'm glad they didn't do something like overly effeminate where it's like it's pinks and whites. Oh, they're girly colors. I'm glad they didn't do something stupid like that. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't like that costume design. I don't even really like Mr. Incredible's costume design either. Like I like his blue outfit more than I like his red outfit.
Yeah, the red seems a little bit too strong. The blue one definitely looks a lot more cool.
Blue feels more heroic.
Yeah, the red works a little bit better with Dash and Violet for some reason for me.
Oh, Dash because like he's the Flash.
Yeah, he just runs around. He's a red little blur.
Yeah, red and yellow it kind of works. And it's not that red, yellow, and black don't work. Those are the colors of Plastic Man. He's been using it since like the 1940s. I just find something about Bob's blue and black outfit really, really striking to me. Something about it, I look at it and I'm just like,
yeah,
that's a cool superhero costume.
Right.
But they want the whole family to have like the same uniform.
Yeah, of course.
Like, because it's like the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. Fun fact, actually, at one point when they rebooted the Fantastic Four for like the umpteenth time, they gave them red costumes. And from what I understood, most of the audience was like, I don't like the Fantastic Four red costume, and it's like,
you're stupid.
And it's like, wasn't that what the Incredibles were? I mean, granted, they were better written Fantastic Four. In the making.
I'd say I must see as well, like for every single reason that you just stated. I can't really add anything more to that. I especially love the Violet scene more than anything. She definitely came in there as her own character.
She stepped up so hard because like she was
Flash.
She's so not like I don't mind her in that first film, but she's like a fart. She just sort of happens to be there, and you're just like, oh, Violet, hey, how you doing? You in the film?
Yeah, but Violet here was just was so energetic, so personable.
She's a teenager.
Yeah,
like she was barely even a teenager in the first film actually, because she was that generic. She was that generic shrinking Violet character in the first film. Yeah. So it's just like, what's her character in the first film? She's quiet. Because she wishes she could disappear, and she always puts up shields. There you go. Isn't this brilliant? Isn't this great? No, this is boring.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything with it.
Now she's just an awkward teenager just going through her own phase of life. And stuff.
Yeah, and I love the fact that the kids like being superheroes. Yeah. I like that. I like the fact that the kids are like, we want to go out and punch bad guys and like help people. And you're like, eee. And I like the fact that Bob's just like, I'm so proud of my kids. And Helen's just like, I just want us to be a happy family and
I don't want us to go to jail.
Yeah, I don't want us to go to real horrible jail. And it was fun. I really loved this movie. I couldn't speak highly enough of it, and I just hope we don't have to wait 14 years for a third one.
Yeah.
But I also hope that Disney isn't like, we gotta ride that money train, and then just make a third one and be like, oh, this sucks.
I get my money from Disney. Money. Your name's just elastical now.
Like, so I'm hoping for the best if this moves forward.
Yeah, me too.
I almost would say a TV show would be a great spin-off from this. Like, out of all the weird Disney things they do where it's like, we gave Rapunzel a TV show.
Yeah, this one might have the best sort of chance of actually own sort of TV show.
Well, because, like, dude, I think the Rapunzel show, the first episode, they retconned her hair to be back because it's like, oh, right, we, like, cut her hair at the end of the last movie.
I have heard the Tangled is supposed to be, like, really good and stuff. They put, like, musical set pieces in that as well.
If it's good, that's great. We can maybe give it a shot.
Yeah, I would like to give it a shot.
If people want to see us watch Tangled and discuss it, we could comment below, I suppose, for that.
Tangled Ever After, whatever the first...
But, like, it seems like if you wanted an ideal show, especially because Disney has been really riding high on their superhero merch as of late, I'm surprised The Incredibles doesn't have a show in the works of some capacity.
Yeah.
It seems like an obvious choice. And honestly, maybe them having a fully CGI'd show wouldn't hurt.
Right.
Because DreamWorks has been really cornering the market on that. I mean, sure, all their stuff is crap. But, I mean, they've been cornering the market. Like, they did Kung Fu Panda, they did How to Train Your Dragon. Shrek is in the works now.
Yeah.
Monsters vs. Aliens got one. Boss Baby got one, I believe.
Yeah.
Puss in Boots got one, I believe.
Yeah.
Captain Underpants is getting one, I believe.
Yeah.
So I feel like Disney should sort of step it up and be like, maybe we should throw out an animated television series.
Yeah,
and
more live-action comedy TV.
And
with live-action characters.
And unlike DreamWorks, if Disney really wanted to step it up, they could probably get the voice actors to do the TV show.
Well, most likely, yeah.
Because they get an impressive amount of celebs on DuckTales. I mean, the fact that they got David Tennant to be the official voice of Scrooge McDuck is actually pretty impressive.
But that's why he's not shown as often in the show.
Well, I'm more annoyed the fact that Donald barely...
They rip out my heart.
Stop screwing up.
Every time.
So, we're agreement.
Yeah.
Must see.
So go out to see that.
Do you think it'll take the Academies this year?
Most likely. If more artistic movies take up most of the categories.
Most definitely.
Yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Yeah, because for some reason artistic films don't ever get
they
any
all
love.
die.
Because I remember it was like Loving Vincent was last year. It's like, yeah, I ignored it. And you're like, oh,
but you're beautiful.
Like that was actually like, you know, interesting and, you know, not schlock.
Yeah, it may be a slow movie, but it's a slow mystery film.
Wasn't it in the same category too as like Boss Baby? And we're like,
yeah.
Are we really supposed to compare Boss Baby to Loving Vincent?
We like Boss Baby just fine.
Yeah, but like Loving Vincent is a documentary about the tortured soul that was Vincent van Gogh, and it's really weird that it's like, by the way, did you see this movie where Alec Baldwin plays like basically baby Donald Trump? And you're like, yeah, oh yeah, it's basically the same thing. They're both animated.
Yeah, exactly. We're actually going to be posting this.
Yeah, I highly recommend. Get a chance. Get your friends. Go see it solo if you have to. See it with a buddy, though. I'm sure it'll be incredible.
Yep. Incredibles 2.
Oh, no. I don't know. All right, well, as always, be sure to tune in
to ToonGrin. And thank you for stopping by, watching stuff live.
Let's hope, comment, see if we can get any more of these, and we'll cut off now, and we'll go to Q&A and see what we can get going on down here. So let's
Peace.
Peace. Let's answer some questions from the peeps, and let's see, what do we got?
Yeah, let's see. Let's see. I was looking at the comments a little bit. We have been having sort of an issue with this cutting in and cutting out actual audio quality, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, but I don't know fully what's causing that, and if we don't know, we can't fix it.
Yeah, unfortunately. We'll just apologies for that, guys. We'll definitely look into it. I'll do some like Q&A sort of stuff in the future.
I wonder. Hold on.
Hello.
I turned up the gain. I don't know if that helped at all. Let's grab this.
It's called the return of. Yeah.
Alright, what do we got?
Let me just put on these headphones. Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
So that'll be 2024.
Maybe.
Incredibles 3. What?
Will you guys do a live watching stuff of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? I really don't see a point to, not because it's a bad movie or anything, but I sure as hell don't care about anything after the first Jurassic Park, and I've seen the other ones.
Yeah.
I thought the last one was god-awful, dude, because from what I understood, they originally were going to use puppets again for, like, the dinosaurs, and then they overlaid CGI on it in post, because they were like, oh, no, we need to do more modern effects, and the dinosaurs look like crap.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I heard that as well, and I'm not really into like Jurassic Park and all that. And that's not really what our channel is really all about. We are definitely more of an animation channel, and that's why we're trying to corner the market on that sort of stuff.
I mean, if you want to get technical, the dinosaurs are all animated.
Yeah, I don't want your sassiness.
Oh, okay. T. Thomas said, "Are you guys using your Yeti mic? Because it's a big step up from the last live show. Just thought to throw it out there. Yeah, it's a Yeti. It's it's a blue Yeti, so it should be better technically.
Yeah.
Do you guys like to see the Incredibles 3 after Incredibles 2? Oh, most certainly.
Yeah. Incredibles 3 movie would definitely be nice to see.
I think the concern is just what story you're going to tell, because as endearing as these characters are, if you're just going to rehash a similar story to too much of a degree, it won't be as enticing or interesting. How was the animation flow for this movie, guys? Oh, dude, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
They didn't do any water scene. Oh no, they did some, because Bob fell into he fell into a pool while he was in the house.
Yeah, pull into the house and
oh, and then he saved Jack from falling out of the sky because he teleported into the sky.
And the last scene is all in the ocean.
Oh yeah, no, right, it's on a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking, because I remember like the water scene from the first movie where it's like, man, that water effect is kind of that water effect's kind of crappy.
The water effect.
Have you guys played the Incredibles video game called Rise of the Underminer, the sequel? Is that the was that
the official video game when the first movie came out?
Okay, then I never played that. It would be cool if we did the Lego one for the channel, though.
Yeah, that would be cool.
We could check Steam to see if it's out.
Yeah, we'll just have to see what's going on.
Oh, hold on.
Where's my...
If you guys happen to rewatch this, keep an ear on the audio.
Yeah.
Kept dying. Yeah, we'll be sure.
Yeah, we'll look over the footage after we finish recording to basically test that and such. Like,
well, that's one of the reasons why we recorded on a separate camera too.
Yeah, we thank you guys for your patience in this. Like, this is basically just another test and all that, and we're just seeing how it goes. Like, whether it be a connection issue or whatever, something to do with our actual recording software, we'll have to see.
Gui says there really aren't enough good. There's a freaking get out of here, bug.
What?
There was a bug on my face and then on my gut. And Gui says there really aren't enough good stories about fatherhood. Not really. Like, again, off the top of my head, a Goofy movie, Dad of War, this.
Okay, next question.
Yeah, yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I gave you the feels.
That's the thing. Like, I like it when a movie can make me if a movie can move me to tears, that's when you know you did a good job.
Okay, does Syndrome have a cameo in the movie?
No, he's dead.
Yeah, he's stone cold dead.
I don't even think they mentioned Syndrome.
Yeah. I have it. Remember the dead. Wait for it. He also has it. Brad Bird say he's not dead like comic book heroes. Can't dead. He can come back in the third movie. I
see. If the third movie was like the Return of Syndrome or something, that would give me some apprehension to skip it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want Syndrome back. I want to move forward. I want to see an all new villain. I want to see something else. I mean, now if it was Syndrome and he created like the Legion of Doom or something, I'd be more lenient on that because that's him with a bunch of other supervillains coming together.
I don't see how you survived that.
Oh, please, dude. You know how many supervillains survive the impossible? I've seen the Joker, no joke. I have seen the Joker shot point blank in the head by a cop.
Yeah.
And he came back with nothing but a little scar on top of his forehead.
Right. Yeah, okay, pretty loud. What do you guys in your thoughts, if after all that, with Jack, he just didn't have powers, how would that fare for you guys? Like, after this movie where he had all these powers and he just instantly had them not?
Well, like, if he hit... Well, remember, like... And he's always changing. It could be when he hits puberty, maybe they just shut off. Because, like, his body couldn't handle all of them, so it just stops.
Yeah, that could be something.
If they did that, I wouldn't be against it, because then you could introduce the concept of Bob dealing with like a non-super child, and maybe it's a new challenge for him and Helen, his parents.
Yeah, you could do like the superhero thing. It's just sort of like a Robin analog sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, he could succeed with Jack where he failed with Buddy.
Yeah.
So there's that parallel you could kind of play with. But I'm fine if Jack kept his powers and he's like a fun 6-year-old like with godlike abilities, because I've seen it done before in comics very well. Firestorm from DC Comics is a character who is, Firestorm's able to manipulate atoms at the cellular level, so he could rearrange like molecules and stuff to make anything, as long as it's like inorganic. So like I've said before, like bank robbers run out. What does he do? He turns the concrete under them into butter. Like he could do stuff like that.
Right.
And it's a fun superhero because it's a very technically he's more powerful than Superman, but he's like a 15-year-old teenager, so he's not as capable as being malicious as like a full-grown embittered supervillain would be. I mean, as a teenager, he could sort of definitely be dangerous, but luckily he's so good and pure that he isn't. It sort of falls in the same thing. Like, I don't know if you know about this, but Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Franklin's superpower is that he could bend reality to his will.
Okay. Well,
when he was like 6, he created his own universe in the palm of his hands.
ooh.
He's uber powerful.
Yeah.
And he is one of the nicest, sweetest little kids you could ever meet. And he loves his Uncle Ben Grimm very much. And in the far, far future, when the Earth is dead, he is the only known friend of Galactus.
Well, that sounds really cool.
Because Galactus had nobody to talk to or have friends.
Oh.
And like Franklin grew up and became his friend.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, boy, what if Superman wasn't as nice and pure as he was? You get Man of Steel, where he's just sort of a selfish dick.
Yeah.
Who's also like a stunted man-child. But the real Superman has this great power, and he's like the nicest, warmest person you could ever meet.
Right, exactly. We have a few questions. Are you guys going to watch Toy Story 4? Yeah, most likely. But not
for the channel, but I have no interest in it, quite honestly, dude. Like, look, I thought Toy Story 3 was fine. It was a nice bookend to all 3 films. I feel like Toy Story 4 is Disney just... it's like admitting defeat.
Yeah.
That it's like, man, we're desperate. Like, we have no creativity left in us.
We need Toy Story back.
Because, like, Pixar used to never really do sequels.
Yeah.
It used to be, like, one-offs, and that was it. And then it's obvious Disney's like, look, we like money.
Yeah.
So make them sequels, man. You know, give us another Toy Story. Give us... Cars, Cars? Oh, my God, I still can't believe it went past the first one. Favorite Pixar short?
Yeah, I'm trying to bring a list of all.
Was Paperman one? I really liked Paperman.
Yep. Well, let's see. I don't think that was a Pixar. No, that was a Disney one.
Okay.
Like the most feature.
Bao was the newest one, and it was really weird.
Yeah. Yeah, but I almost liked it. Well, Lou was pretty cool.
Which one was Lou?
Lou was basically like this. Basically about this pile like lost objects from children.
Oh no, I saw that. We watched that together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually kind of heartfelt.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Someone has asked where like if Junk had feelings.
Yeah, Junk had feelings. Piper, Sanjay Super Team. I'm just trying to remember.
I hate Lava.
Yeah, Lava was just kind of bleh. Day and Night looked visually really cool. And I don't really remember any of the other ones. Wait, I'm just trying to remember. I think For the Birds was... Oh, yeah, that one. That was a funny one. Like with the big blue bird with all the little birds.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that one, though.
Yeah, but I always found that a cute one.
See, that's like the most experimental, like, the company will really push. Is like, it's experimental. Yeah, but it's also like 3 minutes, so you won't cost us too much money.
Money in your face.
Yeah, right? Money fight! Oh, I never saw Day and Night.
It definitely looks visually really cool. Like, we should watch that sometime. Like, obviously, like, one's day, one's night, and they just show, like, day scenes and night scenes in their tummies.
That's neat.
Yeah. Piper?
Don't remember that at all.
I've never seen that one, but I saw pictures of it, and I thought it was so adorable. Like, look at that little bird.
Don't get me wrong. It's a cute little bird.
You gotta boop it on his beak.
Yeah, it's boop. It's a cute little pecker. Don't get me wrong, but, like, I don't see the point.
I wonder if he's a rigid pecker.
He's not a blue-footed booby.
Yeah.
Which character from this movie you relate to the most? Bob. Good enough for my parents. I feel like I'm a constant disappointment, and one of the reasons why I've been coping with so much stress as of late is that I feel so crippled that I'm just a colossal disappointment to them in every way.
I would say for me, Bob, and really sort of Violet as well. Violet really just sort of attached me because of her awkwardness and such, and I sort of identified with that.
Yeah.
And definitely, I want to just make this sort of clear because there's sort of a question. The villain was the weak part in this. Weak is all. It's the mystery around the villain was weak.
Yeah, well, that's. Yeah, because I mean, like, there's like no mystery in the first film. It's so obvious it's gonna be Buddy.
It's syndrome.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I wonder who the villain is. It's Buddy, because Buddy's is a creepy ass little stalker boy.
And you sort of wonder, like, who's the villain gonna be in this one? The two new characters that show up. I wonder which one.
Yeah, well, that, and it's like, at least with like the trailers, they didn't ruin it.
Yeah, they didn't show them.
I don't even think
at all.
I don't remember even seeing Screenslaver in the trailer I had seen, and I only saw like the briefest bit of a teaser.
No, I saw like Screenslaver a few times, like you see the mask and such, but they never said like who's that.
It's not that the villain is weak in this movie. It's just that everybody emotionally resonates to different things.
Yeah.
For different parts in the movie. In my case, I just resonated so much with Bob in this because he's just trying his best to do right by his kids, and I resonate with that because I want to do right by my family. And
right.
I've said this to you before, where it came down to like when I was watching Moana, and when Tamatoa is singing that song "Shiny" about Maui, and at one point the lyric says, "Chasing the love of these humans to make you feel wanted," and I broke down and I started crying in the theater because that's fucking me. I feel like I'm trying to chase my parents' love.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm closer, but at the same time, there are so many moments in my head filled with doubt where it's like I can't deal with it.
Right.
And it just breaks my fucking heart because I feel like I'm just such a failure to them.
Aww.
And it kills me. And you know, I want to make them happy. You know, no kid wants to be a disappointment. Like goes out there to be a disappointment to their fucking parents.
I know, unless you're an ass.
So I mean, it's a two-way street of failure.
Yeah, very true. Okay.
What Pixar character you guys like? Well, I like Mr. Incredible more than Buzz Lightyear, but hear me out. I love Buzz Lightyear as long as it's Star Command, the animated series, which I'm still upset that with the advent of how these Pixar movies have been going, they should make Buzz Lightyear Star Command into a feature-length animated film.
Yeah, that would be really
cool. Go full space opera. Go like Flash Gordon meets like Buck Rogers. Make it the early years. So it's before he even has his cool team with like XR and
Fat Alien. Girl
alien.
Alien.
Booster and oh god, what's her name? Something Nova. Mira Nova. Before you have like his awesome team, have it be with him and have it be with I think it's Worf Dark Matter.
Mm-hmm.
And have it be about the two of them in the academy together, and make it feel like it's a really, because in the TV show, Worf ended up going rogue.
Yeah.
But like really build up the camaraderie, this brotherhood, this genuine connection. You really make your audience feel for it, and then you rip out their heart as like when it breaks up, and make it a big epic space opera. That would be really cool, because when you really get down to it, other than Star Wars, which, let's be honest, Star Wars isn't some property they invented. They just bought the rights from a guy who was just sick of the audience being crap.
Yeah. Because
the Star Wars fan base is pretty horribly toxic.
Yeah.
I think it They do Buzz Lightyear Star Command. First animated film, it's like him coming out of the academy. Second film, you do it a few years later. He's the Space Ranger we know. He's got to take on all these cadets. He's got to play father to them. You know, you have a robot that's like learning to become self-aware, and he's like helping him get through these emotions. He's got the hillbilly from the farm who needs to learn how to like step up and be a hero. You know, he's got the princess that is too gung-ho to prove herself when she needs to reel it in. You need to be part of the team.
Yeah.
Third film, you have him go to Earth, and it's the Wild West, and he teams up with a sheriff named Woody.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Oh, Nero, no. Let T-Kun here give you.
Yeah, you're getting some hugs.
No, I love this community. This community is so wonderful.
Yeah, it's so nice to us. Thank you.
The Incredibles 2 or Deadpool 1 or Deadpool 2. Dude, you can't compare them. There's so many. They're completely different movies. Deadpool 2 is a rom-com. Or no, Deadpool 1 is a rom-com. Deadpool 2 is a family film,
Yeah.
but it's also an R-rated family film.
Yeah, so it's totally different, not comparable. And that's
Like, there's no point in Deadpool 2 that moved me. Well, I mean, like, my comic book nerd side of me was like, oh my god, he's finally here! Like, with certain things was like, oh my god, I never thought I'd see a movie after they fucked you up last time!
I'll give Nero all the hugs. Yeah.
Thank you, you bumped my head, you jerk.
Boom.
How is Pixar fearing now for you when it comes to movies? Well, Pixar's always random because, like, dude, I remember when Good Dinosaur came out and everyone was telling me, like, it's so bad.
It sucks.
Like, someone was like, oh, you know which one always confused me? I heard a review where someone talked about Brave, and it was before I saw it, and someone says, this is it. This is the death of Pixar. And then I watched Brave, and I'm like, this is the death of Pixar?
Like,
why is this the death of Pixar?
Yeah, I heard everyone was just like, oh god, this is just so generic and all that. And then you hear all the people just like, oh please don't let it be generic, please don't let it be bad, please, please, please.
And that's ridiculous.
It really is.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Does Incredibles 2 set up a shared universe? No spoilers. No, but I mean, because they have a bunch of supers, if they wanted to spin them off, theoretically they could, but I wouldn't. Honestly, I don't think any of the supers they did set up in this movie would survive with a solo film.
No, I don't.
They're all losers.
Yeah.
I mean, like, one guy's like a decrepit old man that barfs.
Barth Magma.
Barfs magma.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
No.
Nah,
Yeah.
it would. Give you all the hugs.
Give me all the hugs.
Mm.
Every 7 seconds, please. That'd be so impractical.
1, 2, 3.
Hey, you have to
4,
throw Mississippi
5,
at the end of those seconds.
6, 7. Nope.
You spit in my face.
That's what you get for blowing at me first.
I didn't spit in your face. I spit. I bite my thumb at you, sir.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna still hug you.
Don't touch me.
Yeah, you're gonna hug you more.
Stick my tongue in. So what? Do you mean Incredibles 2 versus Shrek 2? Dude, Incredibles 2. No, like, I like Shrek 2. Shrek 2 is a great movie.
Yeah.
It's Here's the thing. Incredibles 1, great movie, well written. Incredibles 2, great movie, well written. Shrek 1, okay, horribly dated. Ages very, very poorly.
Oh, death.
Shrek 2, superior written film.
Yeah.
Also dates pretty bad actually because of the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of uncomparable. You can't really compare DreamWorks films to Pixar films. I've never met a DreamWorks. Actually, that's not true. I love Captain Underpants, but it didn't resonate with me. It didn't drive me to tears. Well, except for the comedy part. I mean,
yeah, you thought it was really funny. I know.
Oh no, yeah. Like again, when Mr. Crump has that one great line where he looks at the two kids and he just goes, "Don't you see? I'm gonna annihilate your friendship." And you're like, man, this principal is really getting joy out of ruining these kids' lives.
Oh. Well, that's great.
Favorite movie from Lucas that isn't Star Wars related?
I can't really think of any films outside.
Oh, what's the matter? You didn't like that one with the date rape and the fairies?
No. No.
Oh. His awkwardly racist film, not because the film is racist, but because he said something really weird. He made a movie called Red Wings, and it's about like the black pilots. I think it's like the Tuskegee air pilots.
Right.
And he says, "I've done something groundbreaking. I mean, an all-black film that's never happened before." And it's like, yeah, it has. Oh, yeah, it has. Okay, yeah, I like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Look, I love Star Wars, but I love Star Wars in a much weaker capacity than anyone like hardcore Star Wars fans. I mean, I read some of the books, I certainly read some of the comics, but I'm really niched on, I love Howard the Duck. Not the movie. I love the character Howard the Duck, and I think it's about time Marvel got off their collective butts and gave him a reboot.
Yeah.
Because he was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right, I remember that, yeah.
He has a very gross joke in the second film where he says, "Once you go duck, you're out of luck." And I'm like, that's gross. I don't want somebody porking Howard the Duck who isn't another duck.
And what What does he mean by being out of luck? Does he give STDs to the person he porks?
I think he proceeds to hit it and to quit it. In the comics I was reading that were very funny with him, he was actually just sort of a loser that ran a detective agency. Yeah. And that's why he was so endearing, because he was trying so hard to be a good detective, which was really weird because the lawyer who shared an office with him was She-Hulk.
Nice.
And she's actually a competent lawyer. And, you know, he's kind of a lame.
Damn you, She-Hulk.
Yeah. And his number was like 1-800-DICK.
Yeah.
Because Dick is slang for detective.
Right.
So I don't know why he wasn't like 1-800-DUCK. Which was also just 4 letters.
Maybe it was already taken.
Maybe it was already taken. No, but like I love Howard the Duck. I would love it if he got another movie. I think it's about because his stuff is all satire.
Yeah.
So the Marvel movies could actually explore something they haven't done before. They've done the space opera because they did Guardians, and they've done like The Man Out of Time with Captain America. They've done the guilty douchebag who tries to redeem himself with Iron Man, Thor, Jesus, Doctor Strange.
Jesus.
No, man, can you imagine if Marvel's Jesus was like, Jesus was a dick, but then he got humbled and he realized he shouldn't be an asshole, and that's because now he's a Marvel hero. I love you guys.
Oh.
Do you guys like the Pixar theory? What's the that they're all they're all shared?
Yeah, they're all shared. I don't know the actual logistics.
That's as Easter eggs in their movies. It's never been intended to be some magnum opus of a shared universe. It's literally, hey, remember that last movie we worked on? What if we put a little something in there? Because like
cute.
Because like by all logic, it's like if you watch Aladdin, there's a part where the Sultan of Agrabah is putting all the little figurines together, and there's a teeny tiny figurine of the Beast from Beauty and the Beast there. So it's like, what the fuck? Does he go over to the next kingdom? Is there like a big furry dude abducted a French chick who's not French?
Yeah.
And like, there's like tug of candelabras and shit in the next kingdom over?
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I feel that it's definitely a fun sort of theory to have.
How would Good Dinosaur fit? I thought the whole point of Good Dinosaur was the meteor passed the Earth, so the dinosaurs evolved instead of humanity.
Bleh. That's it. That's all how you explain it.
Yeah, I think the theory's bonkers. I don't think it really works. Man, here's a question. What Disney property should Pixar make into an animated film? Gargoyles. Sorry.
You answered your own question.
I didn't think it was going to be that quick, actually. Like I posed it, and then it's just like, my head really quick. It was just like, Gargoyles. I'd like it to be Gargoyles. Buzz Lightyear Star Command.
Yeah.
I don't know, it'd be cool if they maybe did Recess again.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of neat. It is weird that when a Disney Pixar hit some jumps, like having gay characters and call-outs, they do better when they don't try in the past films compared to the remakes. The thing about... Hold on.
Earthquake, good night.
Alright, Gui, you have yourself a good night rest. Get better, drink plenty of fluids, stay hydrated.
Yep. Get all them fluids.
Hydration is muy importante. My criticism about the whole Disney remakes thing comes from it feels like they've kind of given up, because when they try to make original live action films, like Pirates 1 did surprisingly well. Yeah. Like it was shocking how surprisingly, because no one was asking for a swashbuckling pirate adventure movie. Right. Those movies have long since sort of past their prime, and sadly they don't do them much anymore.
Definitely.
But the first pirate movie, I love it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't know if it's a piece of shit now. But the last time I remember seeing it, I loved it. And I loved everything about it. And then I saw the second one, and I'm like, this is alright. And then you hit that ending where you're like, oh, you're sequel baiting. What are you doing? No. No. Each movie should be its own pirate adventure.
No.
So don't make it try to sit on sequels. Just let it be its own thing, please. Just let it, and no.
And no. Third movie.
And that was terrible. And then they did the fourth movie, which is like a soft reboot, and it was lame. And then they did the fifth movie.
And then Sora showed up for the third movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. My thing about Disney just doing the live action films that are remade of their animated films is, it just feels lazy to me. Yeah. Because it feels like they don't have any scripts that they can do for live action things. Because like they did John Carter of Mars, and that bombed. And then the moment they bought Star Wars, they got rid of John Carter. They dropped the whole franchise. And then when they got Star Wars, what's the first movie they made? They made A New Hope again. Sure, they changed some characters around slightly, folded some tropes into others, but it's just A New Hope. I like it because I love to see that the new audience has a new hope that they get to grow up with. Just like I got to grow up with Luke, they get to grow up with Rey, and I love that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, as a guy who's seen all these movies, dude,
with the gay characters and call-outs and all that sort of stuff, that definitely just feels like a lot of pandering and such. Because there's no real, hasn't really been a focus on any sort of gay characters and all that.
I still stand to reason, and I've said it to you time and time again. Have a Disney princess fall in love with another woman, make that the central romance story. Don't put a villain in it. Just make that the central story.
Don't make it like super special or all that. You're gonna have it be some form of conflict in the story, not just because like, oh my god.
Write it like you would like Rapunzel and Finn or Flynn. You know. When people write gay romance, is like, how do you write gay romance? Do you know how to write a straight romance? Yeah. Congratulations, dumbass. You know how to write a gay one then.
Yeah, because they're literally no difference, except you have a penis in one of them, and a vagina in another one.
Yeah, but people like, again, there's those weird, unique individuals
that are idiots.
That are idiots, yes, who want things where it's like, oh, you know, it needs to be treated special, or it needs to be treated as like overcoming adversity. And it's like, dude, just having a gay relationship is not overcoming adversity. Dealing with the prejudices that come with it and rising above it, that's overcoming adversity. But just being like two guys or two girls who love each other, that is literally not overcoming adversity.
Yeah, if they work well together, that's the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
How about Coco and the Pixar theory?
I don't know what that is. I don't know what the Coco Pixar theory is.
Yeah, I really have no idea what Coco has to do with it. It's just Coco's in there.
I'd like to see a Guardians of the Galaxy animated movie by Pixar. I don't see the point. They have 2 live-action films. What would be the point of animating it? I would like to see more of those Rocket Raccoon cartoon shorts they were making. Those were awesome.
Cool. Yeah, we watched the whole series of that. That was awesome.
And can you believe, like, they never did anything with that? Which gets me, because it's like, if there's... Dude, if there were any 2 characters you could easily market to kids that are toyetic as hell, it's a freaking raccoon that carries giant guns that hangs out with a talking tree.
Yeah, sure.
It's like, it's so obvious.
That was cool. We didn't really see previews of it, but the Ralph Breaks the Internet, I wouldn't have wanted to see that preview. We already did it for ToonGrin reactions before.
Yeah, well, I think if it's the oh no, it's a trailer at the screen. No, our trailers were weird. What do we get? We got.
No, we just got the 3 main actors basically just popping up on screen, just going like, "Hey, we're good at 14 years."
I like
the movie.
I like Sam Jackson. He's like, "I assure you, it was well worth the wait."
Don't you lie to me.
You didn't disappoint, Sam Jackson. Cogsworth and Lumiere were a hinted couple. Really? Because if you watch that animated film, Lumiere was totally trying to mac with that feather duster that was French.
Yeah. This was the whole time.
And just how they were written, that's all. Again, I always thought LeFou was kind of gay.
Yeah.
Like, because he seemed like he was man-crushed. Because, like, he would say those lyrics where it's like, you know, no one's as strong as Gaston. And you're like, he might be gay.
Yeah, I might be into him, but that's all right.
Oh, no, I couldn't give less of a fuck if he was into him or not. But I think with Disney, where they, like, did that stupid shit with the live-action one, is like, isn't it great we're inclusive? You know he's a bad guy, right? Like, that's not the character you want representing you. Yeah. It'd be like, man, I want a character that represents German pride. There's Adolf Hitler. Do you feel proud now?
No.
No, that's horrible. Any Pixar movie you'd like to see a reboot of? No, there's no point to a reboot. Because the whole point for a reboot to happen is you take something bad and you fix it.
Like with Karate Kid and such. Like some people do like the new Jackie Chan Karate Kid and all that.
I like Jackie Chan in the Karate Kid.
Yeah. You don't like Jaden there? You don't think he was a Karate Kid?
Actually, that was probably the best film he's ever been in.
Yeah, most likely.
Sadly, but true.
Yeah.
That's probably that's probably the best that kid will ever be. Because now he's a pathetic man who's an idiot. I swear to God, one time he said, "You don't know how hot the sun is. You've never been there." And it's like, well, dude, has anyone ever has anyone been? Hey, man, you don't know how Pluto. You don't know how cold it is.
Yeah, I think you just need to go away.
His son like raised him. His favorite song in a Pixar movie.
I can't even really think of a song in a Pixar movie.
Well, Pixar movies aren't like musicals like Disney movies.
Yeah.
Disney movies specifically.
Which is why I usually like them more. Except for the times that I do want to see a musical. Not a Disney musical though. Definitely a new musical.
trying to think what would be a cool animated film for like Pixar to do that would be so outside their wheelhouse. An animated horror film would be nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it doesn't need to be gory or nothing, but
there are very few of those. Like I still want to see Fears of the Dark, even though it's supposed that is
Pixar.
No, it's not Pixar.
Oh, I'm just talking about like Pixar.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about like animated horror movies in general. Like how many of them can you really think of?
Monster House.
Yeah, just Monster House, Coraline,
Paranorman.
Yeah.
Kubo kind of. He does, dude. Come on, he's got the evil twin ants that are like demonic. The demon god grandpa from the moon. It's not hardcore genre of horror, but it's like a light horror.
3.5.
It's like supernatural stuff, most certainly.
I'm going a 3.5 there.
Any Pixar movies you guys cry at? I thought Coco was terrible. I do. I kind of want to review it, but I think we want to do a big crossover for that.
Yeah, we're going to do a crossover of Coco and The Book of Life.
Yeah.
And we're just going to take both our sides.
This got me close. Oh, WALL-E, a couple days ago, we watched it and I started crying.
Yeah. It definitely WALL-E got me a little bit teary-eyed as well. Like, I
wasn't a little bit crying. I was just flat hugging you and crying.
I know you were. I can't really remember the last time I really cried at a movie. That's sort of the problem was when you're like a crybaby at a young age, like I was. You just you lose the ability to cry at just like things like that.
Because you don't have a heart.
You know that's not true.
Yeah, but when I said it, you felt like crying a little bit.
No, when you said it made me.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's Pan. Peter Pan. What, Peter Pan? Or do you mean Pan like the goat satyr that plays the flute?
Or a pan that you cook your eggs in. But the fan fears us all.
Ooh, that'd be kind of cool if Disney did a reboot of that.
Peter Pan?
Peter Pan.
Oh, that would be cool.
There's one book where he has an all-new villain. He's called the Shadow King, and he's literally like a god of shadows.
Oh, that would be cool.
And that would play interesting because Peter loses his shadow.
Yeah. And Toy Story 2 definitely had some emotional moments for me. They're making me cry.
Oh, I love Kelsey Grammer so much.
Oh God!
He was such a Bob.
How evil he is!
That Toy Story.
No, Jessie's song wasn't.
Oh, was she separated from her little girl?
Yeah.
Didn't they rehash that with Lotso in the third one?
Yeah, yeah, but
and that really creepy clown.
Yeah, but instead of basically becoming an endearing character, he became a Nazi in that toy camp. Like you do.
Must have been a day that ended in Y. Makes me cry. Good Dinosaur. Good Dinosaur never made me cry, but there were a lot of moments where it just felt like somebody was punching you in the stomach.
Yeah.
Because there are scenes in that movie where you're just like, I didn't expect it to go this place.
Yeah.
This went a lot darker than I imagined it was going to be.
Right.
It's the same movie.
No, it's not the same movie. Those are both terrible movies.
No, Cars 2 and Cars 3 is the same movie. They both suffer from the same damn problem where they couldn't decide what the story was or what the villain was supposed to be.
Okay, that's fair, but we're definitely... I haven't seen Cars 2 or Cars 3.
Cars 2 might be arguably worse only because Mater is made to be a main character.
Yeah, and Mater is just irritating.
Yeah.
Mater, the third one, was actually a little bit better because Lightning McQueen actually called him and he was actually, supportive. Like no one else in that movie.
Cars sucks, dude.
It does.
It's a movie that's too stupid of a concept. Like, don't get me wrong. I like Susie the Little Blue Coupe, which clearly was the inspiration for that series. But, dude, you cannot watch that movie and not... How does this universe work?
Yeah.
How does gasoline work?
Yeah.
How does, like, evolution work? Were they built somewhere?
By somebody?
Or somebody? Like, what? Like, it raises too many questions. Yeah. At least with the dinosaurs, yeah, it sounds ridiculous where it's like, the meteorite went over them. They didn't die. They're the dominant species. Okay. I mean...
Okay. Well,
yeah, it's fantasy, but I still buy that more than, like, it's a world filled with cars. How?
Yeah. Okay, guys, we're gonna wrap this up with a little bit more questions because we're gonna edit the Watchin stuff. Next location Pixar should do next, and what kind of things?
You know, it would be great, but it would be impossible. It will never happen.
What?
Pixar did Scooby-Doo.
That would be cool.
And it would never happen because Warner Brothers would never allow it.
No.
Even though if Warner Brothers, all they had to do was cut a deal and be like, we split the profits.
Yeah, that.
But they're too busy like waving their dicks at each other because they're doing it with their superhero movies. They will never do it with Scooby. Man, I would love Pixar animated Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, that would be so.
Can you imagine how beautiful that would look?
Oh, that would look amazing.
Oh my god, and all the characters would be great. I would still I would request.
The monster be real?
No, it's fine if they want to do the mystery. I prefer a supernatural monster personally, but if they want to make it a mystery, just make it a good one.
Yeah.
They need to bring back the voice actors. It needs to be Matthew Lillard and Frank Welker and Grey DeLisle and Kate McCucci.
Oh, okay. I get. She was in Lumiere was pansexual. He liked everybody.
He's French.
Yeah. Exactly.
I don't know what to make of that. No, but that would be great. Like, but they have to bring back the voice actors for that are iconic with them. I don't want them to come in and be like, we recasted with all these celebrities. No, I want Frank Welker to be the dog and Freddy. I want Matthew Lillard to be Shaggy. I want Grey DeLisle to be Daphne, and I want Kate McCucci to come and play Velma.
Yeah, we're gonna do a theatrical movie, and like Ryan says, we're gonna get that in like a year or two or something like that.
Yeah,
Scoob,
and it's like it's basically like Men in Black with Scooby-Doo, which we'll give it a shot, but it does sound dumb.
It does, but definitely a lot of the Scooby-Doo movies sound dumb nowadays.
What are you talking about? Everyone knows that Boo Brothers is the magnum opus of Scooby
that was
films.
in the 80s. We know that's not the stupid one that people were talking about. When people think stupid, they think about stuff like The Kiss, even though we love that. But when you try to describe to somebody, like, Kiss are supernatural heroes and such, and with Scooby and the gang helping them solve a mystery.
The Good Dinosaur is a ripoff of The Lion King, and that's why I hate it. The Lion King is a ripoff of Kimba the White Lion.
So
and Hamlet.
Yeah.
Also, it's crap. Not sorry. I hate The Lion King.
Yeah. And
love the sequel.
I do always laugh at The Good Dinosaur when the dad dies.
It happens like it's like someone ripped a huge fart. It just happens so quickly that you're like, oh my god.
Oh my god, you Mufasa it.
Mufasa's was way more dramatic.
I know, but it's just every other movie that basically just sort of plays it off. It's just like, oh no, let's wipe that away. He's dead now.
Do you like to see an Inside Out sequel? It has potential because Riley could be dealing with something else.
Yeah.
She's a teenager. She is unstable. You could introduce a new emotion to the crew that she has to deal with, or she could deal with like self-doubt.
Yeah.
And self-doubt could be this little emotion that walks around that constantly like whispers, bad things in your ears.
Yeah.
Or like envy, which I guess people are gonna be like, oh, it's like disgust. No, being disgusted is not the same thing as being envious.
Right.
Like being envious is when you're angry or like jealous of somebody for having something you don't. And you could play with that. You could play with all sorts of things because Riley is a budding teenager, so she can develop any number of emotions that could actually change things up for her. Or if they really wanted to make something trippy, they could make Riley an adult and she could be dealing with her own daughter going through emotions and have new versions of them. That could be pretty cool. What else we got?
Okay, I think with that we should end off the podcast because this was a really good one. I feel.
I think so too, and I think a lot of people enjoy this.
Yeah, thank you guys for stopping by, for doing this. Like, this was a really fun experiment for us. Like, we'll look on Google and such, basically figure out like what was the issue with like
specifically requires a soundboard.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, well, I can't get that. I mean,
up in that, and there could be some sort of like electrical magnetic sort of like interference with the camera right there and our second camera right there, or that's the first camera and that was the second camera before. But thank you guys for stopping by. We'll be doing some watching stuff in the future, hopefully like this as well, and more Q&As and a little bit, and going into Let's Plays as well.
Yeah, I definitely would like. I kind of would like to take this Saturday to do
a Let's Play
live stream. I think would be fun.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. So definitely stop by Saturday after we do some basic work after all that, because we still have to figure out like a few things about going to Canada and all that. But we can definitely just focus that day on doing a Let's Play like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So everybody, we'd like to say good night and thank you for watching.
Thanks for stopping by, guys. It was really appreciated that you came by to watch two chuckleheads talk about movies.
Yeah. And just go out to see Incredibles 2.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yep.
I want to go see it again.
Yeah, that would be great. Peace for now, guys.
You're in my way. I can't see. I can't click the button.